we've learned a lot from him, and we've probably learned more from him than he's learned from us.
I think they're a real important part in my life. I can't describe it. It feels amazing.
Team Impact is a national nonprofit that connects kids living with serious and chronic illness with college athletic teams, forming lifelong bonds and life-changing outcomes.
Give me a great kid! Great kid!
Can I have a hug? Oh. What's your favorite subject?
Math.
When you spread the word about Team Impact, you have the power to change lives.
Welcome to the World of Rare Disease, a show that focuses on awareness and education about rare and complex disorders and produced by Rare New England. I am Julie Gertze, Rare New England founder. Today we will hear about a national nonprofit called Team Impact and learn how they connect children facing serious and chronic illnesses with college athletic teams. Team Impact has created relationships that have enhanced the lives of thousands of courageous children and touched the lives of tens of thousands of student athletes across the country. We are joined today by Rachel Rogovan, who is Director of Clinical Services at Team Impact, who will share information about this fabulous resource available to the complex disease community. Rachel, hello and welcome to the World of Rare Disease.
Hi, thanks so much for having me today.
Yeah. So as we just watched the clip, that short, brief clip, I have to say one of the things that I noticed in there were all the smiles. And I could also feel that sense of inclusion between the clients and the players themselves. And I was wondering if you could share with us a little bit more about that and about the goals of the program,
Sure.
Team Impact.
Absolutely. So, like you said, Team Impact is a national nonprofit that works with children who have serious and chronic health conditions by connecting them with a college sports team in their local community. Our overall program goals are to provide kids with an opportunity to build their confidence, optimism, and to provide them with a sense of belonging that is difficult for them to find in their own communities. So we do that by connecting each child with an entire team. They really become a part of that team for a period of 2 years. They get to participate in all of the typical things that teams do together, like go to practices, games, have team dinners, but the relationship really extends beyond the sport and beyond the athletics, really into the community and into their family.
That's really, it sounds really fascinating. I can only imagine from, some of these children who are affected by these diseases, like I know some of them aren't even able to go into schools. They lack the social, the communication with others, and this must be a phenomenal program.
Yeah, I think one of the things that makes Team Impact really special is that we work with children who have a variety of different illnesses and diagnoses. We're not specifically focused on any one particular diagnosis. So we work with children from ages 5 to 16 years old, and they could have one of dozens of different illnesses. The real common theme with all of our children is that they have, not only are they facing a chronic or serious medical issue, but they're also really struggling with the social and emotional challenges that go right along with that. So when you think about kids who are sick, they often miss a lot of school, like you said, or they're not able to attend school. They may be homeschooled or attend school virtually. They're not able to always participate in their own extracurricular activities, whether they're athletic or artistic. They're really missing out on those typical childhood social experiences. And so Team Impact gives them an opportunity to build their social network and build that community in a way that is safe physically and emotionally.
Well, this sounds like that's really awesome. Now, this is a national program. This is something that's done throughout the country. Now, how does this work with the sports? What kind of sports and kind of sports teams?
Sure. So similar to how we work with kids who have dozens of different illnesses, we will work with college athletic teams from equestrian up to Division I football teams. So we have kids matched on every type of college athletic team that you could think of: bowling, dance, hockey, gymnastics, track and field, swimming. I mean, really the list goes on and on.
Okay. Now, what if the child is not able to actually participate in the sport?
Yeah, I think a common misconception about Team Impact is that kids have to like sports in order to participate in our program. Sometimes we'll talk with family members or healthcare providers who may be thinking about making a referral to our organization, and they'll say, well, I don't know if Billy would be a great fit for your organization because he's not really that into sports. Our organization and our program really is not designed around the sport. The sport is a vehicle for providing our kids with a community of support to surround them with this community of support. So it's really not about the actual sport, it's really about the team. And so what we do is we really encourage kids to not only become part of the team and attend the athletic events, but really make the team part of their family and continue that relationship off the field. So you may find some kids go to practices and go to a lot of games with their team, and other kids do other things with their teams. We have a little girl who does arts and crafts parties with her team, and they play Barbies and they have dance-offs with one another. We have some little boys who play video games with their players. So it really is not just about the sport, it's really about the relationships.
Oh, that sounds really, it sounds really special. Now, what if there's siblings in the family? I mean, are they connected? Is it just the child, the client themselves who participates?
It really depends on every particular child and every particular family. For some kids and families, it's a decision, or a program that they really want to participate in more individually, apart from their siblings. And for other families, it's really the entire family is involved, not just siblings, but also parents and caregivers. And so on college athletic teams, not only do you have the players who form an amazing support system for one another, and they provide an amazing support system for our Team Impact kiddos, but you also have the players' parents who oftentimes form a support system around the Team Impact child's parents. So the parents can become just as involved as the kids.
Oh, I'm sure they enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. What about cost? Is there any cost to families to?
There's absolutely no cost to families to participate in the program. Our program is completely free of charge to both the children and families that participate and also to the college athletic teams. The only cost is the cost that a team or a family would incur when traveling to see one another.
Okay.
So that might be the cost of gas or the cost of a bus ticket or something like that, but there's no other fees or costs associated.
Okay. Now, if you are able to make a match, how far away are they usually, from the client where they live to a game?
Some of that is different depending on what area of the country the relationship exists in. And so we're so lucky in New England and in the Boston area in particular that you can't drive. It feels like sometimes you can't drive more than 15 minutes without going by a college. So we may have kids and teams matched up in the Massachusetts area who are 15 or 20 minutes away from campus. Some of them might be 5 or 10 minutes away from campus. In other areas of the country where where the areas are more rural or things are just more spread out, we may have families driving an hour, 2 hours to see a team. And so that is a little bit different in each place. Our ideal goal would be to find a team for each child within about an hour of either where they live or where they receive medical treatment.
Okay. But still, that's that's still doable. Within
Absolutely.
an hour,
Absolutely.
that works out well.
And we really find that the important thing is really focusing on the quality of the interaction between child and team versus the quantity. So if you live 10 minutes away from your team, you may be able to see your team more frequently. It just means that we really have to focus on quality when kids and teams live further away from one another. And so if they live a couple hours away and they're only able to see each other once or twice a month, it's really the focus on making that 1 or 2 times a month really, really meaningful to everyone involved.
Yeah. Now, how about the coordination between the family and the team? How does that work? I mean, there must be a lot of, like social things to work out, pieces to work out with these families. They're going through a lot. I mean, kids with complex medical needs. I mean, there's a lot going on in those families.
Our families are dealing with so many things. They have multiple balls in the air all the time. And our teams are also dealing with multiple things. College athletes are simultaneously athletes and college students. So often they're balancing coursework with practices and game schedules and potentially a part-time job or volunteer work. So everyone involved really is very busy, but really committed to each other and really committed to making this work. I think the really unique thing about Team Impact and the thing that we're really proud of as an organization is that we're not just focused on making a match. So we don't just want to make a match and then see how it goes. Yeah. We're really focused on facilitating that relationship between each child and their team. And we do that by providing ongoing case management services to each relationship throughout their participation in our program. And our case managers, we're really lucky. We have 6 wonderful case managers on our staff who are all master's level social workers. And they just bring a wealth of experience with facilitation and communication and working with kids and families who are dealing with a lot of challenging issues.
Okay, that sounds good. So that way, if any of the athletes have any questions or the family members have any questions, they have somebody to go to try to work out anything.
Absolutely. And we try to be really proactive, and so not just waiting for challenges to arise, which inevitably they do, but we try to be really proactive by talking with kids and families at the beginning about what their goals are for participating in our program. What are they really looking to get out of it? Talking with coaches and with student athletes about the same thing, and really helping them work together to achieve those goals.
Okay, that sounds awesome. So how about criteria? Can you tell us, at least from the client side? I mean, obviously they need to have a complex illness of some sort, but do you take children with any type of illness?
So it's really, we've moved away from basing our criteria strictly on whether or not a child has one of a specific number of diagnoses to really looking at each child and family more holistically. So we're taking into account a child's medical diagnosis, whether it's serious or chronic. We do work with some children who have had catastrophic injury that will have long-lasting, sometimes lifelong effects. So we're looking at really the medical diagnosis. We're also looking at the social and emotional pieces that go along with that. So is a child struggling socially at school or with peers? A lot of our kids feel lonely or isolated because of their illness. They may feel very self-conscious because they may look different than other kids, or they may have different abilities than other kids. So are they having some of those things? Are they struggling with a lot of anxiety around their medical treatments, or a lot of sadness or frustration on having to miss out on some of the more typical childhood experiences because of their illness? And then we're also looking at safety concerns as well. Is the child and family able to participate safely in the program? And is our program going to meet that child's needs? So for example, something that I didn't necessarily think about before I joined Team Impact was that the world of college athletics can be very big and larger than life, and that comes along with a lot of loud noises and bright lights and large crowds. And so for some kids that may be really challenging, and that may not be the best environment. And so we sometimes are able to think about what type of team we're matching a child with, if we are able to make something work. And for some kids and families, they say, you know what, this doesn't seem to be the right program for our child, and we're happy to give them referrals or kind of suggest other things that may be a better fit.
Oh, okay. Well, it's an interesting thought. This was something I wouldn't have thought about, but now that you bring it up, yeah, I can see how that would relate. There's some of them with the sensory issues and such that, yeah, that could be.
Yeah, and we try our best to really tailor every relationship to meet a child's needs, and so we're able to prepare a team up front for things that would be important for them to know. So whether a child has a mobility issue, we want to make sure that the team knows that everything needs to be accessible to that child, or if a child has a particular sensory challenge, how can we work around that? So we always try to personalize the experience as much as we can.
Okay. Now, as far as the team goes, and I know we saw a little piece in the clip as well, where there was someone saying something about the positive experience with the team members themselves. And I can just imagine, being a part of something they never thought of before. Maybe they didn't know anyone with a complex disease before, and then showing how much they can give. It becomes something bigger than what they're doing. It becomes bigger than them. Do you have anything to share about that, any experiences?
Absolutely. I think that's another really unique thing about Team Impact, is that our primary objective is to serve each child and family, and to provide each child with an opportunity to build their confidence and optimism, give each child and family a sense of belonging, but that we're also serving an entire generation of student athletes around the country by providing them with an experience to help build their empathy and to help them become more civic-minded and more focused on giving back to others. And we talk a lot about the importance of inclusion in an organization and in the community. And so, one of the things that we've seen is that we're able to really teach these student athletes through this program and through this relationship with this one child on their team. We're able to teach student athletes about the importance of empathy and the importance of including others regardless of their ability or health. And that's really impactful on our entire community.
Oh, I can imagine. So if there's anyone out there in the audience who belongs to an athletic team and it might be interested in this program, what is the criteria for a team? How would it be? Who would they reach? What do they do to become a part of this?
So first of all, we definitely want them to become a part of it. We have right now over 1,500 teams on our waiting list, so it's definitely something that college students and college teams really want to participate in, and we want to grow that as much as we can. They would go to our website, which is www.goteamimpact.org, and there's a link that says to sign up as a team, and they would fill out the form, and it just asks them some simple questions. A coach can fill out the form, a student athlete can fill out the form. It's just going to ask them for the contact information of the person that we should get in touch with, and to tell us a little bit about why they want to be involved with Team Impact. And then we'll be in touch and we'll take it from there.
Okay. And this is any college sport? So it could be swimming,
absolutely,
golf, whatever.
Correct.
It doesn't matter, you want them all.
Yep.
There's an interest.
Absolutely. We love to have a diverse range of sports to offer our participants, both in terms of gender, because we equally serve boys and girls. So we really want to have both male and female teams, but we also want to have a wide range of activities and sports available.
Okay, that sounds really awesome. Do you have anything else that you'd like to share about the program?
I think we would just like to share that we're so excited to be growing our program, and we were started in the New England area about 7 years ago, so we're still relatively young, but we've expanded nationally. We're in 48 states. We're hoping to get to our 50th in the next year, so we're really excited, and we would love to talk to you.
Oh, that sounds awesome. And let the audience know your website again.
www.goteamimpact.org.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Rachel.
Thank
you. This has been really interesting. This is, I think it is such such a benefit for these children. I mean, I have kids of my own, and I know sports was so important to them, but more than that, I know it's that being part of a team that's the most important. So I think this sounds like a really great opportunity, and I'm glad that I learned about it and that you are here to share.
Well, thank you
with
so
us
much for
today.
having us.
Yes, thank you. Okay, and now it's time for our segment, R&E in Motion. Before closing each show, we provide our viewers with an opportunity to share comments and ask questions. During each show, we will read questions sent in to us by our previous show and provide answers. If you have any questions or comments about today's show, please contact us at info@randnewengland.org, and we may use your question on our next segment. Related to our last show about the roles in pharmaceutical companies in rare diseases, we have a question from Jason. See where I put that question. Sorry. To cut that piece out. All right. Jason asks, can you explain more about how I can find out if there's a trial being done for my disease? Thank you, Jason, for asking this question. Clinical trials are listed and can be found on the website clinicaltrials.gov. Clinicaltrials.gov is a resource provided by the U.S. National Library of Medicine. Clinicaltrials.gov is a database of privately and publicly funded clinical studies conducted around the world, including all 50 states and in the U.S. and 207 countries. Once on their site, you can search boxes for studies related to specific diseases, medications, country of study, and whether or not patient recruitment is being done. That's our show for today. From all of us at Rare New England and all of the patients and families who keep rare disease in motion, thank you for watching. And remember, when you hear hoofbeats, consider they might be zebras.